Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about the Instagram strategies that you need to leave behind. The ones that are not actually going to help you lead to any real result, be it growth in your business or growth on the actual Instagram platform. We see so many people wasting time on things that are either outdated or just were wrong advice in the first place. So we're going to dive right into that. Let's get started. So to kick things off, we're not going to cover any of that basic stuff, so let's just get it out of the way. Don't buy followers, obviously. Don't use engagement pods. No. The algorithm understands when you're doing tricky things. Do not do this. No. Do not buy likes or any of this stuff. Waste of time. These are not real people who are going to do anything for you. You know that spam, those DMs you're getting that are like, buy 20,000 followers.
Become an ambassador.
Just ignore all of these. Follow and follow. Stop wasting time on that. Such an outdated strategy. And then just tagging a bunch of people and really just becoming like a spam type of person because they're not relevant to the post or they're not a theme account that actually cares about the content. Let's just get that out of the way and move on to the next one. Now, the first real strategy you want to leave behind is prioritizing hashtags over SEO. Now, there was a time on the platforms that hashtags were everything. They were the way to get discovered, to show up on the explore page. They held a lot of weight, but times have changed. And Adam Mosseri, who's the head of Instagram, he even spoke to the reducing impact of hashtags now.
Not really. They do help us to understand what a post is about, which means it might be more likely to show up in a place like a hashtag page, for instance. But in general, no, I wouldn't try to think of hashtags as a way to get more distribution.
What matters is SEO, because SEO is found all throughout the app. SEO and those keywords are the information that the algorithm uses to know who to show your content to, whether it be new people or just people that you've interacted with in the past. So spending time on just this one small aspect, and we meet people who get very obsessive over hashtags, and once upon a time, it did matter, and they do matter to a small extent, just not the same as they did before. What you want to focus on is keyword rich content. So that's the content that you speak out on your videos, the keywords that show up in your profile and through your captions. We did a full video on Instagram SEO and how to best optimize. We'll leave it up there for you to check out. That goes into greater detail about how to optimize your content for SEO. And we think if you're somebody right now who's still trapped in I need the hashtags to be the best, that's going to be a really helpful video for you.
The next Instagram strategy to leave behind is a little bit of a controversial one, and that is the link in bio. Now, we are not saying that link in bio is worthless. It's not worth doing at all. We absolutely would recommend that you have a website there and use all of those 5 links, or you have a service like Linktree as well in there. So let's just be clear that we're not saying don't do it. But there's a whole new world of automation that we have discovered this year that changes the entire game. So one thing we talk about here a lot is reducing friction, particularly for that sales and conversion process. When you think about clicking a link in a bio, if you are on a post telling people to go to the link in bio to find the link that you're referring to, so then now they have to go up, tap on the link in the bio to expand it.
Get out of your post even first. So now they have to get out of the post and go to your profile.
Go to the profile. If one of those 5 links is like a link tree or something, hit the link tree, peruse your link tree, hope that you've put it, at the top to make it as easy as possible. Once they get to that, what's that, 4 taps or something?
Probably, yeah.
And then once they get to that page, then hopefully they've got the right one. Then they got to find the information. So that's not even counting how well you've set up the destination page. So that's a lot of taps. Yeah. That's a lot of friction.
And taking them out of the platform. And then you're also really doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not helping you grow and improve your reach and engagement and everything on Instagram. So with a service like ManyChat, which is the sponsor of this video, ManyChat can automate that whole process for you while keeping the individual on your account in your DM, increasing your engagement and your ranking in the algorithm essentially. So basically what ManyChat is, it's an automation tool that allows you to automate actions within Instagram to essentially help you sell products and services. So let me just run through an example because that's probably the simplest way to understand it. So if you have say a link to a freebie, could be a sales page or a promo, your website, something specifically you want to promote. Let's just say a freebie because that's usually the best thing. in your caption or in the video or in the carousel, in the actual content itself, you can tell people to leave a specific keyword in the comments. Now that can be anything that you decide. So, one of our examples, we use checklist for one of our freebies. What that does is it generates one comment from the user first of all, then ManyChat automates a response, and you can actually set up a whole bunch of different individual responses so that it cycles through it and it's not just an automated, same copy and paste. So that's 2 comments on the post. Then what happens, because they commented that keyword, it automatically sends them a DM that you can set up with the link, with anything you like in that DM. So then it takes them directly to the DM, which is something that we talked about in this video that Instagram are highly weighting. They really want us to use the DMs. Once they're in the DMs, they get the link directly. They don't even have to leave Instagram. They will when they hit the link, but in that process of getting to the link, they don't leave it all. They often will respond to that automated message, which allows you the opportunity, if you so wish, to get into communication and a conversation with that individual. Think about that. Like, without you doing anything, you set up that keyword one time, and that keyword doesn't just have to be for that post. You could keep checklist, which is something that we do.
Yep.
You could comment checklist on any one of our posts at any time. We can set up new posts with that without having to go through and set up the flow, and it will automatically work and send them that same piece of content, which is phenomenal.
Amazing.
So, isn't it crazy?
Love it. Obviously, you see us, we keep talking about it, whether or not they sponsor a video, and we love them as partners. They're incredible. But we were excited to partner with them because we think that what they're doing is amazing. And we were always seeing larger influencers use it, and we didn't understand. And now we really want to make sure that creators and business owners are taking advantage of this, because it is a game changer and it works for so many reasons, specifically when you're thinking about let's leave past strategies behind that weren't getting us to our goals. Now you're directly talking to people. It's hitting so many goals. It's increasing your ranking, but it's also driving the kinds of actions that you want to have, these DM conversations. And you can even do that in stories. There are so many different templates, and I think that's key to see.
Yes.
Because people hear automation and they might be like, oh my gosh, this is really difficult, or I don't know, I'm not coding. Everything's done for you, and you can use it to direct to your YouTube video. You can use it to direct to a freebie like we're talking about. It could be a sales page. It hits so many tiers, and that's why we love it so much and we keep talking about it. And it's a major part of every strategy that we're creating on Instagram this year, without question.
Absolutely. So the wonderful folks at ManyChat have hooked you guys up. So you're going to hit the link in the description and use the code HIGHSEASON when you check out. Now that's going to give you 1 free month of their pro plan. And we really want you to make sure that you use the coupon code, the high season code, to get that pro plan, because that's going to give you access to those additional features. And at least, even if you do choose the free tier in the end, that's completely fine, but at least give it a crack. With the,
I can't believe it's free, even, honestly. The free tier is also
it's
amazing.
Still insane.
The pro is fantastic, is obviously what we're using, but I just can't even believe it even starts at any free plan, because it's delivering so much value.
Yes. And
maybe that'll change eventually, because it's incredible. Yeah. Wow.
Go get it. Link in the description. We love you, ManyChat. You'll love them too.
The next strategy that you want to leave behind is overly curated content. Now, we're not saying that your content shouldn't look beautiful or should it look high quality, but that beauty is larger than maybe you're thinking and what you might be overthinking. A lot of issues that we run in or that we hear are that people don't post because they're too paranoid about what the content looks like. If it doesn't feel like it looks a certain way, they just don't even want to bother with it.
It's pressure.
And it's too much pressure that you're putting on yourself. TikTok really showed the rise of authenticity, and honestly, to an extent, probably too low quality, in my opinion. There's like a balance there. But we don't want you to be in a space where you feel like you need to produce this incredibly gorgeous piece of content or it won't do well, or that your feed needs to be perfectly manicured or people are not going to follow you. Authenticity rules over everything. And what we're seeing is that's continuing to move in the same direction, where people are stripping down their content a little bit. It doesn't feel as overly polished as before. In terms of creating content that's engaging, that's creative, that makes sense. So how do you use tools to make your content more engaging? So obviously you don't want 75,000 different colors on your feed. That's why Canva is great. You can create a palette in Canva that allows you to say, I'm committing to these 5, for example, so it looks cohesive. So there's a difference between curated content in terms of things are looking great together, and overly curated where it's like, if this white thing is not in the corner over here, I can't post it, or if it's not in this exact tone, I can't post it. Just post it. Make sure the content itself is good. So make sure what you're doing is delivering value. Make sure that it's either entertaining, it's educational, it's inspirational. That's what's going to matter more, and that's what TikTok proved. And I think that's what Instagram, if you look and pay attention to what content they're sharing, that's what they're trying to show you too. You know, they highlight creators that are really just being their authentic selves, speaking to camera, doing a get ready with me, and it's not this whole production or show. Yes, there are a lot of creators who would do well in this space, but as a business owner or a creator, it's more important for you to deliver value and actually to post than to not post at all, because you're obsessed with what the content looks like. Get it out and get it done.
The next Instagram strategy that needs to be left behind is posting just to post. And when we say that, we mean essentially posting without a strategy. Sometimes there's a bit of a pressure, and I think we all kind of feel it, that you just need to stay relevant and stay out there and just post. But in any time in human history, at least since this, whole internet thing's been happening, we've got more content just bombarding us, both as the users and sort of on the other side, like feeling like you have to put it out. So imagine everyone's feeling like they got to put stuff out, and there's just so much content and so much noise. It's kind of hard to break through, and a lot of it just doesn't really even need to be there. What you need to do is have a strategy. So that would include your content pillars, which I feel like we've talked about at length on the channel, business goals. So you know everything that you are going to do when it comes to Instagram and of course all the other platforms. So you know what you're going to post, you know what you want to create, we know the value that you want to deliver, which I think is really the key part to it.
Yeah. And then following what Craig is mentioning, an Instagram strategy that is shared so much and has really contributed to this pressure is that you need to post a reel a day. And we see all the new people with peace and love who have like just started their account because they posted a reel a day, and then they blew up at a time where everybody was blowing up with reels. And then they're like, hey, I did this, you have to do it too. And you're not going to be successful if you don't post a reel a day. Sorry, because just put so much pressure. And I'm like, no, you do not need to post a reel a day. We manage many accounts that are successful, and it's not from posting a reel a day. It's from creating an intentional Instagram strategy that speaks to your direct audience. That's how you're going to get the value. Optimize those posts. That's what you need to do. Make sure that you're optimizing it and make sure it speaks to your target audience. Just posting a reel a day can work for some people, but there are so many factors that are involved. And in the end, it's just like this obsession with numbers and going viral. And that is not the mindset that you want to have. It's always going to be value over viral without question.
The next Instagram strategy to leave behind is jumping on every trend. So whilst we typically would suggest, if there is a trend that fits, why not go for it, right?
If it fits,
really is what it is. But don't feel like you have to. There's so many trends that people do, and it kind of like, for lack of a better word, shout outs to Gen Z, is like a little cringe. Like, you don't need to do that. There's so many different trends I see different businesses and different creators doing, like, sticking the phone to the ceiling. Or
remember the dancing?
I was about to say
the pointing and dancing. That was a big one. Yeah.
Didn't age well, guys.
No.
We've been like active proponents of the anti-pointing and dancing movement here.
With peace and love, you can if you want to, but it has to fit your bubbly brand, for example. If it doesn't make sense for who you are and it makes you feel uncomfortable and not in like the, I'm trying something new uncomfortable, which is like, that's good. Sometimes you want to push yourself. But if you're like, this is not me, then don't do it.
No. Yeah. It's just unnecessary. So once again, just make sure that it fits.
Another Instagram strategy that you can finally leave behind is only posting reels. Now, we talked about it again in this video, that data and a large volume of data showed that reels are actually on the decline. So if you are betting everything on posting reels, it's not that reels are going to go away. Like, that's not going to happen. It's just to focus on something that's so overly saturated doesn't make sense. When we know that carousels do very well, we know how important stories are, and we know how important DMs are. So these things that help you make deeper connections. So stop focusing just on posting reels and beating yourself over the head with like, I need to stay on trends when you don't really need to. Content that makes sense for your business, whether it just be talking head or behind the scenes, day in the life, any of these other types of content content. There's so many types of content you can post out there
Yeah.
that do well. You can add that as one piece. So you can say, I want to create reels. I might do 1 to 2 a week, but I'm also going to take advantage of carousels because I know carousels result in deeper connections like
really do.
saves, follows. There's all these other parts of the app that you can explore to see what works best for you. Just because on your explore feed, you might go through and people are like, post reels, post reels, post reels, doesn't mean it's the same copy and paste strategy for you. So definitely venture out there and definitely check out that video if you haven't, because we did speak to the other important parts of the app that are getting even more attention now. The next Instagram strategy that you need to leave behind is solely relying on ChatGPT for your captions. Okay, we've all seen ChatGPT for a while now, right? You can tell when a caption is a ChatGPT caption. We always say that you can use, say, any AI as a partner, as a collaborator.
Yes.
That is super key. I think that's very helpful as using it as like an assistant to help you, or maybe even a guide. But you need to always create content in your brand voice because people are going to need to connect to you. They need to understand you and who you are, and they're not going to get that if it's behind a machine. So using this like fake, and they're always the same words, unveiled, unrevealed, or whatever. They always use the same words and the same types of format. That's not going to stick. There's going to be a void there between you and the customer or you and the audience. And even if you can't tell what that is or they can't tell, it's probably the coldness that comes from not writing something in your own tone. There are so many great platforms that are offering like magic assistance, all of this stuff, which we think is amazing, but you still need to tweak it at the end to be correct to you. So use it as a collaborator, not as your sole writer.
I find it really interesting how quickly it's moved. Like how quickly everybody went from, oh, what is this ChatGPT thing to like, oh, you can tell that's AI written like that. Like it happened so quick.
It was just everywhere. It just became like everywhere. And everyone's like, oh, this is the problem to solve. And it's like, no, in the end, you're always supposed to be building a connection with your audience, which means you have to be an authentic, real person or a real brand that cares about the customer and cares about the target audience and can speak to that audience.
Yes.
So that's it. Those are the Instagram strategies that you need to leave behind.
Bye-bye.
Let us know if there's anything that you are noticing that you can't stand. We'd just be curious too, or that you were trying before and it's not working. Drop it in the comments. We just want to know, have a little conversation back and forth because we think there's so much interesting advice out there. We want to make sure that everyone's putting their effort into things that actually matter and will actually get results.
Yes.
And don't forget ManyChat. All right, definitely check that out. We're going to keep talking about ManyChat. It's never going to stop because we love this tool and we're recommending it to everyone because we know you need to take advantage and it's going to be a game changer in your strategy.
Yes.
You can use our code HighSeason to get the pro account for free for 1 month. The pro account's amazing. The free account's amazing. The link's going to be below. So definitely check out that pro account using our code below. Thank you so much for watching the video. We definitely think that you are going to like this one next. So give us a thumbs up before you go and head over and watch that one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.